John Eichelsheim for Boating New Zealand magazine. Today we're aboard Beneteau's Swift Trawler 47. It's a relatively new model for the French company, and this is the first of the model in New Zealand. So Beneteau have been really quite clever with the layout of this saloon area. Although the galley is forward, it's not all the way down, so this becomes a complete sort of open plan area with galley and saloon just melding into one another, and then out into the cockpit as well. It makes it a very integrated area. It's covered out the back there as well, so you can be quite cozy. You can drop the covers, etc., if you want to keep the whole space out of the weather. A decent sort of galley here. It's got nice stone cooktops on it. You've got a 3-burner gas cooktop on the top, a gas oven as well. Lots of refrigeration. There's a fridge freezer unit under the bench there, and then aft we've also got a pair of freezer drawers or a freezer ice maker, depending on how you want to set them up. So the settee that I'm sitting on converts into a large double berth. This is actually quite a clever setup. You simply shift the table, you can move it around wherever you like. And we've got curtains to enclose the whole area, so you've got privacy and also the ability to travel aft via the side door, even if somebody is sleeping here in the saloon. This is something that I'm seeing for the first time, but these sliding doors are sort of 3-way sliders. You have the ability to open them from one side or the other, so the whole lot can open to the right or to the left. It's a very versatile and really quite clever setup. So in Beneteau style, the whole cabin area is actually slightly offset to port, which gives us a wider walkway. We've got nice high sides, high bulwarks all the way down, so you're going to feel very secure walking down the side deck. There's a sliding door from the helm for easy access onto the side deck and up onto the foredeck, and there's also a bulwark door to make getting on and off the dock particularly easy and convenient. I quite like this offset idea. It does give you a nice wide walkway. And you'll notice that we've also got an overhang that keeps you sheltered. If it's raining, you're still going to stay dry walking forward or walking from the helm down to the cockpit around the outside of the boat. So quite a good sized cockpit area. You're completely protected from the sun and the rain with the deck overhang here. And we've got these drop down covers, easy to zip down and roll up again. A nice simple system, just using bungee cords to secure them. The transom door is here on the port side, and it opens out onto the platform. Now this is a electric hydraulic platform. It lowers down into the water. It will hold 350 kilos, so you could put a jet ski on there if you wanted to. The owner of this boat has opted for a very lightweight OC tender. It's an all carbon design, so it's really lightweight, and he's got an electric outboard on there as well. Again, an interesting idea. I really like the way that they have organised these staples on the back here. This one can be moved aft if you want to fish from the platform, take the tender off, move the staple aft. There's a bait table that goes on here, or you can have it in the position that it's in now when you have the tender on the platform. Interesting, sensible idea. Make a bit of extra space in the cockpit. You can shift the ladder that accesses the Flybridge right out of the way, and it opens up the whole of the cockpit. Under the floor we have a really large lazarette. There's plenty of room in there for storage. It also contains the genset. In this case there's a water maker in there as well. The house batteries are in there. Lots and lots of room for odds and ends. It's a good use of space, so you'd appreciate that if you were living on the boat for any length of time. So this is the downstairs helm. It's one of 2 helm stations on this particular vessel. Quite nicely elevated here, so the vision forward and to the sides is really excellent. I can see very well, and also this boat rides nice and level when it's underway. Both helm stations are fully featured. We've got 12-inch Raymarine MFDs, a pair of them, the full set of analogue instruments for the Cummins 425 horsepower engines. This vessel is fitted with bow and stern thrusters. One of the options you can get is a joystick control, which integrates the engines and the thrusters. That's something that a lot of people opt for, but this owner has not. So I come down the companionway into this sort of atrium style landing here, and all the cabins are off the landing. We've also got a whole lot of storage that's been built into the walls here, including this large space which is suitable for you could put a washing machine in there, or a dryer, or you could put a pantry in there if you liked. But This particular owner has opted for a washer dryer, which is yet to be installed. One of the beauties of this boat is that it's got 3 really good sized cabins, and that was one of the things that the owner was after, and that's one of the reasons he chose this particular model. So forward we've got a large double cabin, probably the master cabin with an ensuite bathroom, although the bathroom is split into 2 with the shower off on one side and the toilet on the other side. Again, an idea that you don't see that often, but quite a clever bit of lateral thinking. The day head, of course, is off the atrium here, as are the other 2 cabins. We've got a 2 single bed cabin on the port side, and we've got a full-size double cabin on the starboard side. Not as much room in that one as there is forward, but it's still a good size, and certainly the bed is a good size. You've got a little less headroom in there as well because it sits underneath the saloon. We're on the upper deck here, the Flybridge. We've got a fiberglass hardtop here. It keeps you nicely out of the weather. We've got clears all round. Again, that keeps it nice and cozy. It's open to the rear here, but for most of the time that's going to be just fine. I really like the huge amount of space we've got up here. It's a massive area, in fact. Aft, there's room to put the dinghy if you prefer to do that. We've got an aft galley here. This one hasn't been fully fitted, but there's a fridge underneath, rubbish bin. We put a barbecue in here. We've got a sink, running water obviously. So moving forward, this is laid out for people to enjoy. You know, you can imagine on a nice sunny day or when you're cruising from place to place, this is where people would like to sit. You can get a whole party of people up here if you'd like. Saloon table, it folds out. You know, this is a place people might like to dine. They could certainly sit up here and have a few drinks, or if you're in Anchorage, that's the perfect place to be. Particularly like the way that the backrests here fold back, so if you want to sit with the helmsman either side, you can enjoy looking forward, seeing where the boat is going, or if you're socialising later in the day or just lounging in the sun, you can use them that way around. The helm station here on the Flybridge has got all of the instrumentation that you get downstairs, including the MFDs, twin MFDs. You've got the bow and stern thruster controls as well. Autopilot, everything you need to run the boat from up here. And for a lot of the time, I suspect this is where people would like to run the boat, certainly during the summertime. As I've mentioned, you can remove these clears on a nice day if you prefer the wind in your hair. And another feature of this particular model is this huge sunroof which slides all the way back. It's a sort of a mix of fiberglass and fabric for the after part, but it opens up the whole of the roof space. So this vessel is shaft drive. It's got a pair of Cummins 420 horsepower engines. They give some pretty impressive performance. In fact, Beneteau say this boat does 24 to 26 knots flat out. This particular boat has actually touched 28 knots. But the beauty of it is that you can cruise at 18 or 20 knots, burning around about 80 litres an hour, which is pretty good for a boat that's 47 feet long. And you know, that is the beauty of this trawler design. These semi-displacement hulls are really quite efficient, but they're also speedy enough to get you from place to place. That was certainly one of the things that the owners were after. This is their second launch, and they wanted one that had a little bit more speed than their displacement launch that they'd owned prior to this one. So that's the new Swift Trawler 47. It's the latest model in the trawler range. It's proving very popular overseas, and I can see no reason why it won't be equally well received here in New Zealand. John Eichelsheim from Boating New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of these videos, please subscribe to our channel.